The Senators have been forced into a massive decision after Brady Tkachuk was traded out of Ottawa earlier this offseason, and this decision is one they have to get right. Hello everyone, I am Eoghan Drumm, and welcome to Senators Digest, where we talk all things Ottawa Senators. Today we will be getting into the big decision that the Senators have to make this offseason. But what led to this decision exactly? Well, this did. Brady Tkachuk being traded out of Ottawa earlier this offseason to the Florida Panthers, where he is reuniting with his brother Matthew. And that decision that the Senators have to make is all from that trade, as they do not have a captain at the moment. And the Senators, they have to name a captain this offseason, in my opinion. A team growing like they are, with the media presence they have, being in a Canadian market, I think it is vital that they name it this offseason and not let it lead into other seasons. Name it now and have that leader locked up for the future. So let's quickly just take a look at the history of captains, at least recent history of captains for the Senators. So obviously we had Daniel Alfredsson there, who was the captain for 14 seasons. The true Senators legend there, as we all know. Then Jason Spezza took the C for one season from 13 to 14 before he got traded. Erik Karlsson from 14 to 18. And then the past 5 seasons has been Brady Tkachuk wearing the C for the Senators. So who should get the captaincy for the Senators? Well, I've put together a list of 5 players who should be at least considered. Not everyone on this list, I think, should get the captaincy, but these are 5 candidates who definitely have a case to make to earn that C. So without further ado, let's get right into my list. So at number 5, I have Drake Batherson. Drake Batherson is the second longest tenured Senator, if believe it or not. He's been on the team for 8 seasons. Definitely a big player for the Senators. Has a big role on the team, especially with that forward core and the power play, like we talked about in the past episode about his contract. But that contract is what concerns me. Obviously, he only has 1 year left on his current deal. And there's been a lot of reports out there that him and the Senators aren't exactly on the same page in terms of money. So his future with the team currently is in big question. And also, he's never worn the assistant captain A on his jersey, which I found quite shocking. But yeah, he's never worn the A on his jersey. So going from no A to the C, I don't think is very realistic. But again, he is just a candidate. He's someone who could be brought up in the captaincy discussions, but I wouldn't say he should be highly considered for it. But at the 4 spot, I have Claude Giroux. Yes, Claude Giroux, the Ottawa-born player. He loves being in Ottawa. He's been in Ottawa for his 4 seasons. He'll be entering his 5th season after signing a 1-year extension. Signed a 1-year extension last offseason as well. Obviously, this offseason, his future was a little bit in question, as there was a lot of rumors of him going back to Philly or even Toronto, but he did stick with Ottawa. You know, he's definitely a true leader. Everyone sees him as a leader. He is a big voice in that room. He's a very intense player. All he wants to do is win. And, you know, he's someone in Philly. He was always considered as the captain. If he would have still been there, he would have for sure gotten the C. However, I don't think Ottawa, he will be getting it, just because who knows what his future really holds in the NHL. This could be his last season, and I don't think you should be naming a captain for only 1 season and having to go back and name another one. The Senators should be looking at this decision as a long-term captaincy. Fortunately, I don't think Giroux would provide that, but keep the A for him. He's definitely someone who should have some sort of letter on his jersey, because he is a true leader in that room and someone who wants to be in Ottawa. That's another key thing here. He chose to come to the Senators for the past 4 years, now a 5th year. So he definitely has passion for the city. He knows how the organization works by now. So he is definitely a strong candidate for it. All right, before we get into the top 3, I'm just going to remind you all to go down and hit that subscribe button. It is 100% free, and it allows you to stay updated with all the latest Senators news. All right, let's get into the top 3. So at my 3 spot, I have Tim Stützle, one of the most impactful players on this roster, especially in the forward core. Been on the team for 6 seasons now. His contract, he still has a good amount of years left, so if you were to name him the captain, it would be more of a long-term decision because he still has a long contract ahead of him. The only reason I wouldn't put him any higher on this list, strictly because of his emotions. He does show a lot of emotions, very visible emotions on the bench. We see it a lot. If something doesn't go right on the ice for him, he lets his frustration out on the bench, and it shows a little bit of immaturity there. I don't think that's exactly what you want out of a captain. Does he show passion? 100%. He wants to win. He is someone who wants full success out of himself and for the rest of the team. But I don't think he's quite ready for the captaincy yet. I don't know if he could really handle the Canadian media pressure yet. Can he get it one day? 100%. He's definitely on the verge of becoming a true candidate for the captaincy in Ottawa. I just don't think he's quite ready for that role yet, especially with these two players ahead of him. And at number 2, I have Jake Sanderson. A lot of people have him at 1. I fully understand that. I do think he has a strong case. You know, he's probably the most important player on the team. When he is playing, the Senators are really hard to play against, and he has a massive impact on the roster. The only reason I would hesitate at least to give him the C, it's just the fact that he's an American. He was on that U.S. Olympic team. I know it's a bit of a stupid argument, but we've seen it have impact on other Canadian markets. This one included with Brady Tkachuk, who was just the captain and decided just to head out the door. Vancouver with Quinn Hughes, he was the captain. He wanted out of there, didn't want anything to do with what they got going on there. And Hellebuck, a lot of rumors surrounding him being traded. Matthews as well in Toronto, he's the captain. A lot of rumors surrounding him being out as well. So I just don't know if you want more of that noise for the captaincy in a Canadian market. He has a strong case though. You know, everyone feeds from his energy. He's a strong player, and he is fully deserving. If they were to give it to him, obviously I wouldn't be mad. He's a star on this team, and he will be a star. His contract, he's still got 6 seasons left, so it would be a long-term decision, unless obviously he decides to request a trade. I don't see Sanderson doing that. He does seem loyal to the team. However, I still think there is a player ahead of him that I think is fully deserving of it, and that is Thomas Chabot. Yes, Thomas Chabot has been on the team for 10 years. He has been through it with the Senators. Started when they were in the conference finals in that season, and then he had to go through the full rebuild in the late 2010s and the early 2020s, and he's still with the team. He has had that assistant captain letter on his jersey for a long time now. And, you know, when Tkachuk got the captaincy, a lot of people thought Chabot should have got it. He definitely had a strong case then, and he has a stronger case now. Chabot's kind of been put to the side a little bit with Sanderson coming in and effectively taking his role on the first power play and the first defensive line. So Chabot has kind of had to be pushed aside a bit, but I think he's fully deserving of this captaincy. Like I said, he's been on the team for a long time now. He knows exactly what it's like being an Ottawa Senator. I think what is key as well is that he can speak French. And Ottawa is a bilingual city, as we all know. So being able to speak to that English and French media, he gained full respect from in the entire market as a whole. He already has a lot of respect for the market or in the organization. But having a guy who can speak both languages to the media is crucial. The only thing, obviously, he only has 2 years left on his contract. So if you can ensure that he will resign, then give him the captaincy. If it's a little up in the air, then I'd be a little hesitant. But if Chabot is fully willing to stay in Ottawa, I think that is the move for the captaincy. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And also, give me some video suggestions on what kind of topics you guys want me to hammer down for the rest of the offseason before we get into training camp, which will be starting in around a month from now. Very exciting. One last reminder, please hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a bunch, and it allows you to stay updated with Senators Digest content. That is all I have today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.